Mark Watts, Derek Dolgner, Elitefts.com. Today we're going to demonstrate a quick shoulder prehabilitation circuit using the bands and a rack. Before we demonstrated with the bands attached at the bottom of the rack, here we'll give you a little bit of variety. You can use a couple different kind of bands or the same one, doesn't matter. What you want to do with this circuit is have these bands set up right about the shoulder level of the athlete, and you can change those up if you have multiple athletes or if you want to do different circuits. As long as you have tension, you're pulling away from the rack, these won't slide. If you are worried about those bands sliding up and down when you have them looped around the rack, just put them just above a J hook and you'll be fine. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our micro minis and we're going to do two different variations of a external rotation. So high position external rotation, and as you can see, he's crossed up. All right, and again, this way his actual upper arm is a little bit more of a 45, a little bit safer this way, more tension with the bands, but again, because his upper arms are basically not as extended and retracted, it's not as bad. So he can do the same thing with the bands now in a position where it's going to be harder, less tension on the bands, but it's going to be harder because now he can really open up that chest and get more of a range of motion. So again, anytime external rotation, 45-degree angle as opposed to a 90-degree angle. So two different variations, whatever way you feel is better for your athletes. The next one's going to be just grabbing the mini bands. He's crossing them up as well. So it's going to be basically, the first one's going to be a scarecrow. So again, shoulder blades retracted, right? Put them in your back pockets, and he's just going to come up at a 45-degree angle. And again, bringing those shoulder blades down. The most important thing is making sure we're not shrugging, making sure, again, we have that chest open up and bringing those scapula together and down at the same time. The other variation of that would be just almost like a reverse fly. So now instead of at a 45, he's just going to be at a 90-degree angle. So again, probably a little bit easier to do with the 90-degree angle and just the reverse fly. That's kind of the same progression. You can combo those up. So after you're fatigued with the scarecrow, you can go right to the reverse fly. Last one's going to be using a monster mini. And again, you could use whatever band you feel is appropriate for your athletes. But this is going to be crossover. We're just going to go ahead and just do a normal face pull. The good thing about using two bands as opposed to one is that you can actually now, the resistance you have to pull out, and you can get just a little bit more contraction with the rhomboids, with the rear delts and the upper back area. And then the next one's going to be, now we're going to put them in the same hand, and for lack of better description, we're just going to do what we call a Serrano Press. So again, now we're going to have, again, shoulder blades, back pockets, have our hands up right about a 90-degree angle, and we're just going to go ahead and press. And again, the resistance is not up, it's going to be just keeping that shoulder blades retracted the whole time, and as the hands get away from the center of gravity, it gets a little more difficult. Try those out, see what you think, comment in the article index or the exercise index for us, and tell us what you think.